scratch and moving in the direction of what you want when you feel like you have no idea what you want. After doing the work of cutting out attachments and cutting away what I don't want, I feel like I'm left with nothing.
I feel like that's a really beautiful place to start getting to know yourself again and to start exploring. When you feel like, if you genuinely don't know what you want, it's because you don't have enough experience. So that means that life is asking you to have more experiences. Life is asking you to try things you haven't tried before, to learn about things that you haven't learned about before, to talk to people you haven't talked about before, just to become a yes person. See where life leads you. You never know what's going to be interesting. Try a new podcast, listen to it, or watch a new movie, listen to new music, whatever it is. Just start getting out there and getting in the energy of newness, because that opens up an energetic portal for the universe to start delivering things to you. It doesn't even matter what it is, but you have to start just moving the ball energetically and putting yourself in a position where the universe can send you signs. Because most people, they're just sitting there thinking harder about it. If you can't figure it out, it's not in your field of awareness, and so you have to expand your field of awareness, and or you have to put yourself in a position where it's easier for the universe to send you a sign, right? So that's going to be through someone, a conversation you have, something you see, an opportunity that comes up. So that's why talking to people is really helpful in those phases. I find that if I'm ever feeling like I can't figure something out and I feel like my intuition is blocked for whatever reason, like I just get out there and I chat with people. Like I see who's reaching out to me. I'm like, what's up? I just hear what they have to say. It might seem completely unrelated. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to open myself up to as many people as I can and ideas as I can. And I say yes to everything, whether or not it makes sense. And that will lead you to where you want to go, you know? So that's the thing, is people are being asked to step into something totally different, but they don't even know what that thing is. They've never touched it. They never experienced it. They don't know that something else is possible. So you have to go live life so that you can bump into that thing or that template and you're like, whoa, wait, I like that. I want to try that. It's really that simple. But I do think there are a group of people who ask that question where I'm like, it's not true that you don't know what you want to do. You know, it's not true. You just don't want to be honest with yourself because you're scared. So I would also think about, what has your soul said? What has your intuition said? What have you been pulled toward? What are your big dreams that you haven't acted on, that you tell yourself you could never do? Is there something that's already been in your field that you're just saying that's not possible? I can't make money doing that, or I can't focus on that, or that won't work. You're already writing off. That's typically where you should look, because I think more people than not do actually know at least the general idea, and then that gives you a jumping off point to learn more about. You know, I mean, I was having this conversation with someone like a couple days ago about changing their career, and I was describing just the energy of it, and they're like, well, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know about that. So what am I supposed to do? And I go, learn about it. Like literally Google the most general thing and see where it takes you. Listen to a podcast about it, read a book about it. Like, you got to get out there. I mean, that's how I get information, you know? And so, but if you're like, well, I've never heard of that, so I don't know what to do with it, and so you do nothing, the universe is giving you clues, but you have to go be a detective and take action on them. And so many people like don't want to do that. Like, that's the fun part, is researching, is finding signs. It's like weird. I'm like, got this idea. Let me just go try it out. Like, if you don't know the answer to something, you need to go figure it out. There are a million hits on Google that you could double tap on. There's so many podcasts, there's so many books, there's so many movies, like there's so many people that you could learn from. But what people do is they just sit there and like, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm doing nothing. It's like, if you don't know the answer to a problem, do you just sit there and say, I don't know the answer to a problem? You know, like, my sink is drained, I don't know how to clear a sink. So do I sit there and cry? Like, I call a plumber, I look up on YouTube, how do I clear my drain? Like, you do something to figure it out. And like, if you follow one lead, it's not working, then you find the next lead and you figure it out. And I know I know how that sounds, but this is literally what people do in their lives. And I'm telling you this, like, I talk to so many people every day, and I'm telling you, people do not go problem solve. And spirit gives us clues and high level concepts and sometimes very specific things to go off of, but we have to take action and go deeper into it to allow life to continue to deliver more information to us, right? One step leads to the next, leads to the next. But what happens is we get delivered step one, and then we're like, well, I don't know the rest of the steps, so I'm not going to do anything with it. You have to go take step one. So I also just want to encourage people to like kind of go out there and do the thing. But you know, sometimes we say, I don't know, and we do. And I think one of the most important things I ever did in my life was, and this is when I was really, really trying to cultivate my intuition. I told myself, I'm no longer going to say, I don't know. And I didn't let myself say, I don't know for like 6 months. Saying I don't know is actually a very important skill, like that humility and to be able to learn from other people. But for the purposes of building my intuition, I said, I'm no longer allowed to say, I don't know about, you know, what I want, not logistical things. It was like, I do know. So what do I know? Even if it just feels like a little nugget, a little aspect of it. What do I know? I do know. I do know. Otherwise I wouldn't be in this situation. I do know what to do. And even to this day, you know, I might be feeling feels and I'm like, I don't know. And I'm just like having temper tantrum. I mean, this happened yesterday. Like I was just feeling so overwhelmed and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I let myself, and I was like, I do know. Let me figure out what I know. So I went into meditation and I asked my guides and I checked in with my soul and I looked back through my journals and I was like, I do know. I just haven't really wanted to look at what I know, or I haven't really wanted to deal with what I know, or I haven't known what to do with what I know. So let me look at it and figure out what to do with what I know. And I realized that I didn't want to figure it out because it wasn't figuring it out. It was, I had to make decisions and I just didn't want to make decisions. But then I realized how me avoiding making decisions leaving me feeling so frustrated and so disempowered that it was worse than just making the decision. Right. So I said, okay, Christina, just make the decision. So then I made the decision with everything that I did know, and then the energy moved. And that made me feel better.
Yeah. I mean, mic drop.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You gotta move the energy.
Yeah, so I think, you know, we typically know more than we say we do. People say, I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I want to stay in this. I don't know if I want to leave. I don't know if I should. And it's like, you do. Yeah. You just might be afraid of the answer. And 100%. If you can admit that to yourself, then you're going to get a lot closer to taking action on your knowing. But the thing is that if people have decided they don't want to take action on what they know, then they're always going to keep themselves in a space of not knowing. Yeah. Because the second that you know, it's tough to just pretend you don't. Yeah. So that's where the bravery comes in, and being someone that is okay with, okay, well, that's not an easy choice or is an easy action, but I can do it. I can do it. And you can't do it. So you do know more than you think.
You fucking know.
Yeah.